All right, everybody, welcome in to another episode of the DNVR Rapids podcast. It's the drawing room, and we're presented by Ivaka TV. I'm your host, Mitchell Carroll, and I'm joined by my emotional compatriots, super producer, mustache haver, scarf wearer, Yahir Vazquez, my guy.
I don't know why everybody's so sad. There's a point on the table, and every other team in the West sucks. That's my opening statement for the day.
Whoa, strong opening statement. And above and to my right, but also 30-some miles away.
I don't think it's that far.
I don't know. I've never driven to your house. With just an excellent match day graphic. Just props right now off the top.
Thanks.
We have the art director for All City Network, downtown, Duane Brown, my guy.
Hi, everybody. It's another post game against a questionable team.
Does anybody
Let's talk about soccer?
I have some things I want to say, but I don't know if I would call it a rant. Do I need
Can
to
we
clear out?
start
Do
it?
we need to
Can
clear
we-
out for you guys, or what's
Can we start with the presser and see what you got from there? Because I'm curious about the whole Rubio situation
Yeah,
and
sure. So
and all that you heard from the team.
yeah, absolutely. So presser was Colin Warner, and I'm assuming he just was the most emotionally stable to talk to us. Colin is really well spoken. He's really good to talk to. Aurora's own Colin Warner.
East High Zone.
He East High, shout out right down the street from DNVR.
Let's go.
A block away, literally.
Yeah. A stone's throw. Look, no one in the comments is going to want to hear it. No one on Twitter is going to want to hear it. Right? I know I'm going to be argued with in the comments immediately. He's right when he says there were a lot of positives to take away from this game, and it's tough to look at him, right? Like, it was devastating. He called it devastating. That goal was devastating. They were 2 seconds away. It was 94-58 when Houston scores that equalizer with 5 minutes of added time. Like they were 5 seconds away from being in a playoff spot tonight, right now. And you could see it on his face. He's like, yeah, like, it was kind of shell shock. It was, he thought the start of the game, which has been the emphasis, and we've heard it over and over and over from coach lately, is starting these games and finishing the first half. And they started the game, I thought, very well, despite the ref just blowing a whistle every 5 seconds in the first 20 minutes. There was 27 whistles tonight in 90 minutes. So every 3 minutes there was a foul. There was no run of play. But Felipe is going to want that shot back a million times over right there at the end of the half. But, he said their game plan was executed. It's I know no one wants to hear it. Like, I know people are coming to this to rant and curse the team and curse the front office and curse the coaches and curse the players. And, but he's right. He's right. It's a devastating loss after a 75-minute good effort. I wouldn't say perfect or great, but good effort. And it just came down to individual mistakes. And that goal was scored from right where Brian Acosta would have been. Like, he would have been standing. He would have, like, that play would not have happened the way it did if Brian Acosta was on the field or whoever would sub on for him. Then Frazier came on to the presser. And my question to him was, no one wanted to ask a first question, by the way. So boo the rest of my guys in that press room. We were all trying, and I was like, fine, I'll do it. Frazier is a Zen master when it comes to coach speak. I think anyone who's listened to him talk knows that. You have to ask good questions to get good answers, right? So I was nervous, of course, but my question to him was, especially when you saw Lalas Abubakar coming off that field tonight, not coming off the field, when he went to get the paddle from C38, walked back across for his interview with Dempsey in altitude for his man of the match. he was very clearly emotional. He was, you could see it, and heartbreaking. Lalas, I think, had his best game of the season, if not very close, after, a pretty rough stretch of play. He bounced back, and you could see that he knew that, he knew that the implications of the draw versus the win. But, you could see his emotions, and you knew the locker room would be the same, right? It wasn't just Lalas that was feeling that, right? There's a locker room of guys there who were definitely feeling that, right? This is a tough season, and when you have tough mistakes and little plays and little things here and there that go the wrong way, and it adds up, and it definitely breaks you. And so I asked Coach, I said, that that's a emotional locker room that you're walking into. You're emotional. How do you balance their emotions and your emotions? Do you try and match emotions? Do you try to stick to tactics? Do you try and cut straight to the point? What do you do after a game like this? And he, I think he wasn't ready for that. I think he was ready for us to ask, pretty par for the course questions and give us par for the course answers. And, he was really introspective about it. He's like, there were things that we had to say tonight that couldn't wait till our team meeting on Monday, right? Like, there are things you can talk about. There are things you can address. There are moments, there are set pieces that may go one way or the other. There may be coverages that go one way or the other. You can wait till Monday in film room to really break that down, right? But there are some things that you have to get off your chest, and you have to be emotional, and you have to let them know what to talk about. And his, I think, based on what Colin told us and what he kind of alluded to the rest of the presser, was individual mistakes, right? Like the collective is something they stress so hard and all the time. And he said our backs are pressed firmly against the wall, and they're right? They pretty much need, there's 8 games left. There's 24 points available. They probably need 18 of those, 17 of those, somewhere in there, 16 of those at least. I'd say 16 is probably the minimum, with 5 games on the road, right? So it's as bad as it gets. The team has 1 win on the road, and I don't know. I feel for this team. Everyone's going to be pissed, and everyone's going to say, "Oh, how can you take positives?" Because you have to take positives. Like, this is a game. You have to get better. You have to play the next game. You have to develop players. You have to play next season, right? This isn't the end of anything tonight at all. And, you can be as mad as you want and say, "Oh, the playoffs are gone," but the playoffs are probably gone anyways. It's just
Disagree, but continue.
I'm right. They were up against it anyways, is my point. I don't think, look, the bill came due. Acosta has this habit of getting a yellow every game. He missed last game. He gets a red this game. Now you're going into the best team in the league without your 2 best midfielders. And if you thought that game against Vancouver was rough to watch, man, Philly's going to be brutal, right?
This is the thing. I like that it sounds like the team realizes that they had a missed opportunity. Sounds like Colin
and for sure,
and Frazier understand that this is a missed opportunity. But I like that they're not down. I like that they're not saying,
I'll say they're down.
Yeah.
No, they're down.
Well, no, they're down, of course. They're upset, but it also sounds like they understand the full picture.
Yes.
It's not like
absolutely.
they're not in the microcosm of this moment, which is very important, because there's still a lot of soccer to be played. There is, here's the thing that you don't realize, there's a lot of soccer, and everybody in the West keeps sucking. That was my opening statement. Everybody in the West keeps sucking. Does this game suck? Yeah, it sucked. It sucked because the Rapids were the better team for 80 minutes. They were the better team. They dominated the Dynamo.
Yep.
And then they go out and make another mental mistake like they usually do. And the worst part is, it's not even a defensive breakdown. This time it was a stupid thing that happened that keeps happening with Acosta and a lot of these players, that they think that they're invincible and the ref is just going to listen to everything they do and they're going to get away with whatever they think. Aggressiveness is good to a limit. You have to realize when to keep going and when to stop. And I've complained about this multiple times. These are stupid things that they keep doing to hurt their team, not now, but in the long run. Now they're going into Philly without two of their top midfielders. Maybe Jack is ready. We don't know. We're hoping that he's ready. But there's no indication that he will be. We're under the presumption that he's not going to be ready because he hasn't been practicing. We saw him on the practice field yesterday, right, Mitch?
Well, yeah, he walked out about halfway through practice.
Did he do anything
hung out
at
on
all?
The side. No, he wasn't even doing side work.
Exactly. No. So like we're doing this under the presumption that he's not available for a long term. We don't know what's wrong with him. We don't know what's going on with him. But that's the way we're putting our lineup. So now you missed the perfect price replacement because Acosta's being aggressive for stupid reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what pisses me off about this team. It has no composure. You need composure on the pitch, and because it's not just about this one game you're playing; it's about a full season.
Yeah, and Duane,
we're Denver sports. Go ahead. We're Denver sports fans here. We're Denver sports fans. What do people always complain about Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, right? That they start the season slow, they're pacing themselves like you should. It's a full season.
It's a full season.
And this is what Rapids players need to understand, that it's not just the microcosm of this game. As important as this Houston game is, it's about what's coming up next week too. You need to have a balance of playing this game, but also realizing that you need to be available because that's your best ability. Availability is your best ability, and multiple players on this team continue to refuse to understand that. They keep making stupid mistakes. Yep. They keep doing things that put their team in a hole, and it's costing them. And this time, I don't even think it was a mental mistake. From the defense, I don't think there was a mental lapse. I think it was a stupid decision from a midfielder that they need to do that. Because Acosta, we saw him in practice, Mitch. We saw him yesterday. He was aggressive against his own team.
Yeah.
No
disrespect. Emotions are tight, man. Emotions are tight when you need every game, right? Like that. Like it's really easy for us as analysts and podcasters, and it's really easy as commenters and fans to say, "Oh, this is terrible. Oh, they should have got points. Oh, well, yeah, they know that. Do you think they don't know that? Do you think these guys are sitting in that locker room like?" Well, no, but like I guess I'm trying to walk around that point and get to the point where it's like, look, man, they know they're making mistakes. They're well aware. They are not happy. They're not like like it's tough. And it's what that talk was about. And that is what Robin Fraser couldn't leave till Monday. Was he came in and was like, hey, no, go ahead.
But there's the thing. It's one thing to do a soccer mistake, right? You make soccer. Every player in the world makes soccer mistakes, from Ronaldo to Messi to Lewandowski to Keegan to Lalas to Carlos Vela. Every player makes mistakes, right? It's normal. But this is a trend with this team at this point.
Oh yeah.
And it's not even a soccer mistake. This is a disciplinary mistake, which is different. There's a difference between making the wrong pass or leaving the pass out to float to being over aggressive, like we've seen from Acosta, like we've seen from multiple Rapids players, that hurts your team going forward. I'm a huge Acosta fan. I was a fan of him when he was in FC Dallas. Love the guy. He's awesome. I think he's done a great job when he actually does play to his game. I love what he does and brings to the team. But when you're being overly aggressive and you're putting your team in a hole, how much does your talent matter? Because you're not on the pitch anymore. You're not helping your team. Everybody can make mistakes, but the aggression is what's killing you, not your mistakes. There's a difference between a mental mistake and an aggression. And his aggression is what's getting him in trouble right now. And I love the dog. He's trying to prove he has that dog, and I appreciate that. But your dog also has to be in a chain, because you can't have your dog biting people or you're going to get sued by the city because your dog didn't have the rabies shot.
I think both of those yellows were super weak, but because he had the first one, that one couldn't not be. And it sucks, but they were both really weak. Duane, oh no, go ahead.
No, it's part of the game. Like, it's completely part of the game. That was literally my last thought. It's just, I'm more frustrated because I didn't even know he had a red until I got home. If I'm completely honest with you, it's really hard to follow the game when you're watching it from there. And I was talking to Dre about the game the whole time.
Yeah,
but it's frustrating more to see the aggression keep being a part of it without any real consequences from its own team, more than the outer. The refs and will always give you consequences, but there's no account. It feels like there's not a lot of accountability within the team right now.
Okay, last point, and then I'm gonna let Dwayne cook on this because I know he has something in the chamber for this. I will say specifically accountability. That is, I know, and I wasn't in there, so I don't know, but I know Frazier was giving it to those guys. Like, I promise you, hammering the mistakes, hammering accountability, individualness, and you know, there was a lot of things. I think this game, and I see it in the comments, man. Like, there's a list of things in this season, right? Jack Price hurt your whole season, and like, yeah, is that one player? Yeah, but it's a really good player. It's your captain, probably the best set piece taker in the league. Some of your bets didn't work out, right? Max didn't really work out, not yet. Brian Galvan torn ACL, right? There's all these missed things, these habits, these mistakes, and then that these mistakes happen, there's less leeway, right? And then it just keeps building and building and building. And, it's unfortunate that we're here. I think it sucks, but they're going to wake up tomorrow still 3 points from a playoff spot.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, I'm frustrated with this game again.
Yeah.
I'm obviously frustrated for obvious reasons, but at the end of the day, I'm still not down on this team. Like, I can complain all I want, but I'm still not down. I still think this team's a playoff team.
Yeah. Dwayne, let us step off the mic for a sec and you give it to us, man. What, you were there too. I mean, how are you feeling? Because I feel like me and Yaya are both like frustrated, but also like well past anger, well past depression. We're kind of just in the acceptance phase already, I feel like.
I think we're more like in an even place right now. We can understand this.
Where are you?
See the big picture.
What's your temperature?
I am in an even place, accepting that the playoffs is out of the picture at this point. And before you interrupt, telling us how we're going to win the division,
I'm good.
Before you tell us how we're going to get first place in the West somehow, I'm looking at the schedule, and for the rest of the season, I think we can manage 7 points. I know that the rest of the West is garbage too, but they're not that garbage. So eventually someone's going to start winning and get it done, because they have the mental aptitude when their backs are against the wall, because we can't use the excuse of the Rapids' the backs are against the wall. Guess what? Everybody in the West trying to get in the playoffs have their backs against the wall. And what this team has showed us over and over again is that the mental toughness is not there. And we talk about, little mistakes and this and that. And we even talk about, just a couple minutes ago about maybe it wasn't that big of a mistake, but there were two things that happened on that goal. One, the throw-in was bullshit. Like, you go and watch it, the throw-in was out of bounds and then came back in. So that's crap.
No, you're right.
But so there's that. There's the usual pro referees issue. I'm sure if Rubio was here, Rubio would give them a mouthful, and I would say, "Thank you, sir, for speaking your truth once again."
It was bad. It was really, really bad.
That was really, really bad, and yet another egregious mistake by the refs. Whatever, it happened. So what? You still have to play the cards you're dealt, and and how the Rapids played that was leaving the field wide open for them to bring it down. Nobody pressed, and it's a goal.
I don't think pressing is necessarily the right thing to do when you're down to 10 and you need to stop a goal.
I think you send your big guys there.
I think you need to pack the box, and they did, but they didn't have someone in that.
Someone
spot.
has to step up.
Yes, correct. Someone does have to step up to that area in the midfield. Yes.
What they did was roll out the red carpet to march on down and take a shot. That's on the Rapids.
Yeah.
Okay. There's two things right there mentally. One, that happened, that you just let them march right on down. Two, again, the red card because of double yellows. I thought the first yellow was bullshit also, but whatever, and the second one, I think he was legitimately trying to stop a goal scoring chance, but he did it the wrong way. He didn't come in on the inside, and because of that, you get a yellow, and now you're out, and that cost us the game. In addition to at the very end rolling out the red carpet to allow the other team to march right on in and take a shot. A team that does that kind of stuff, and this isn't a one game situation. Again, I feel like I say this every post game that we don't win a match, and some of them that we do win in Winners Lounge. We're constantly making dumb mental errors, and that is not a unique thing or a one-off game thing. It's over and over and over again. It is a consistency. It is a part of the character of this team. Kevin's bringing the puns. It's, it's a consistency now. Like, giving up bad goals is a part of the character of this team. If I had to describe the Rapids, that is part of the description.
Yep.
A team that I absolutely adore and I love. And we've got a prolific, in Rapids terms, goal scorer who is on pace to break the Rapids team record. And I am fiercely cheering for that. We've got lovable guys of high character who I love. I love so much about this team. But I also, if I'm just describing the character of the team, I also say this is a team with not a lot of wisdom. And they continue to make bad mistakes. And if it was just one here or there, then I'm okay, but this is every game now.
Well,
so that
I
becomes
think
part of the character of the team when it happens every match.
Can I say something real quick about the character?
That was like astute.
Yeah, I think the biggest what's it called? The biggest pointer to the character, to the biggest thing about the character. Instead of bringing Gus in, who's younger and athletic, they brought on Drew Moore, who's a wily veteran who knows the game a little bit more, who might have a little bit more say on the lineup. I think that was the biggest indicator that this team is missing a little bit more leadership with Price out than we're initially thought.
It's why Warner started tonight too. It's
exactly.
Look, everyone wants to scream. Everyone wants to scream for Priso. Everyone wants to scream for the young guys.
I love that Warner started. I was so happy.
Man.
When I
You
saw
don't
him come on.
do 19-year-olds with very little MLS experience come in and impact games that have playoff implications. Like, that's an unrealistic expectation of a guy.
Yeah,
that was not
really
a rant. That wasn't a rant, Logan.
Like
That was
it is. I mean, I love saying, where's Priso? Yeah, I'd like to see Priso, but you're expecting a 19-year-old who's barely played to come in and impact a playoff race? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Seeing Colin
was the right move, and he played really well.
He played great.
Yeah,
today.
exactly. See Colin and Moore in there. It's more about the leadership that they're missing with Price than they are the talent they're missing with Price.
And I said this
it's
last
more
pod.
about the voice they hear on the pitch, and they need somebody to look towards and see hey, what do you think, man? I think it's just more about the voice on the pitch more than anything.
I said it the pod before, and I said the pod before that. The kids aren't going to play. They need to win playoff games. They need to. These are playoff games. These are all playoff games. Every game for the rest of the season, they have 8 playoff games right now. And I'm sorry, you're not playing 19-year-olds that haven't played before and have barely played and haven't been on the field in impact moments. You're just not. You're playing your Warners, your Betas, your Moores. You're that is what is on deck the rest of the season, period. Until they are eliminated and out of it, they're not 3 points from a playoff spot. That is what is going to happen. And I'm not trying to rain on the parade, because I know Twitter is this big group think and the comments can get that way too. And it's okay to be upset about this game, but we have to be realistic about this. They aren't that is not going to happen. It's
Are
not.
You saying
period.
Twitter is overreactionary?
Twitter is on one tonight.
And the other thing is, you guys got to realize that as much talent and everybody on this pod believes in the kids.
Yeah,
Trust me, I'm gonna play the kids guy. I've said it from the beginning of the season. I'm let the kids cook. You got to realize that these kids, as talented as they are, they don't got the mental grit yet to go and do what Warner did, was throw his body around recklessly, but win possession. And those voices and those little things really help a team out sometimes. And it's sometimes a moral victory. Having Warner out there could have been a huge moral victory for everybody on the pitch that's wearing that burgundy and blue. Having Drew Moore out there can maybe help the Rapids, like the players out there, feel like, hey, you know what? This team is serious about winning this game. Let's see if we can go out and win it for Drew Moore. Because if he's coming out here, it's because they believe we can win this game more than maybe a Gus.
Of course he will. Of course.
But the thing I'm trying to get to the point to is that we don't know what these moves have a mental effect on the players on the pitch.
Oh, of course.
We there's such a thin line that Frazier and the coaching staff is doing right now that it's crazy. Like, you don't realize like all these egos and all these little moves, how they affect the team on the pitch. There's players that sometimes see a kid out there and they're like, oh, we're giving up on this game, I guess. Even if they like the kid, we don't know that. Like, even if they like Priso, they're like, oh, maybe they just want to give him some run, and they're running a little bit slower. But if they see the veteran out there, they're like, oh, we're going for it today. We're going to win this game. And that's just how it goes. And no, Logan, the Rapids aren't playing around the Rockies. Rockies are the worst.
Logan, you are a real one. You are a real one. You are a day one commenter. You are an absolute real one. But that is not the case. That is not the case.
Is out there.
That is absolutely not the case. We are around the team all the time. I talk to a lot of people with the team. That is not the case. They are to think that an MLS team that is right on the edge of the playoffs is not serious about winning because they didn't not play a young kid or they lost a game in a brutal fashion. That's soccer. That's what happens, right? Like to think that is what is going on is just not the case. It's just
and also and the big
this is like, I understand being emotional after this game. This is a brutal game. I had a tweet up right here on my screen, right in front of me. Final Rapids into a playoff spot. And I was literally about to hit send and they scored. And that sucks. It sucks. It sucks. Do you know how bad I want a winner's lounge? We all got to hang out at the tailgate. We have this lovely picture of the three of us plus Andre hanging out. It was awesome. It was so great seeing people, talk to so many of you, said what's up. It was sick. It was a great day. Highlighted by what would have been an awesome 1-0 home shutout. That would have been so sick. And it sucks that we don't get that. But we can't just start throwing out things like this team isn't serious about winning. You know, front office sucks. Like all this stuff, like, it's not that serious. It's not.
Honestly, the MLS has so much parity. Duane sent us a great article. I won't plug them to screw them, but they sent us a great article about like the parity on this team, in this league, and the amount of parity on this league is like what makes the team great. The Rapids were literally the number one team in the West last year.
Yeah.
And now they're fighting for a playoff spot. But that also goes for the New England Revolution, who broke the record for most points in the season. That also goes for the Seattle Sounders, who were at the verge of winning the West last year as the number one seed. Like, the thing is, like, you don't realize, like, the parity in this league is like it changes year to year. If you think this team is bad, it's not that they're bad. That just even if you play the exact same way you played last year, teams improve and teams downgrade every year. That's part of the league. That's part of sports. That's part of like what we cover.
Well, it's the aggregate. You have to look at the aggregate here, man. Like, Jack Price has played like a third of the games or something like that. I don't know off the top of my head, but like that matters. I'm sorry. You should be in this position if your captain and most consistent player and the orchestrator of everything isn't available.
And again,
like, that's just how this goes. That's how it goes.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, just things change year to year, but that doesn't mean the team is not serious about winning. Like I'm saying, LAFC last year didn't make the playoffs. Right now, they're on pace to break the Revolution's record from last year for most points in a season. Things just change year to year so much that it's hard to realize if this team is actually carrying, or it's just a victim of its problems. Which is the Rapids' problems this year is like they haven't been healthy and they've lost some key pieces like Gavon, like Price. They barely got started and it took them a while to get adjusted. Today, Rubio wasn't playing because of a back injury that we know nothing about.
Just back spasms. He woke up with back spasms.
That's what I figured it was. Yeah. That's exactly what I figured it was. But it's still like he didn't play. Like, that's just part of the game. And
Zardes is going to have double-digit goals, so I wouldn't call it a whiff.
No, hell no. Zardes has been. He's turned it up. Definitely turned it up. But again, it just goes back to like things change from year to year. Things change from game to game. that doesn't mean the team isn't serious about winning. It just means that they haven't been able to overcome their problems, which is part of every sport. Sometimes you can, sometimes you just can't. But I think the Rapids will at the end of the day.
So I want to take all this. I want to take all this negativity, positivity, big picture, small picture. I want to wrap all that, and I want to talk about Duane's only seeing 7 points left on the schedule. But first,
I touched a nerve, did I?
But no, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
But first, we need to talk about the homies at Evoca TV. Evoca TV, man, they are hands down the best when it comes to Colorado television sports programming. Period. They have every single thing that you need in order to be a sports fan. Altitude, Fleming. I saw Fleming getting pretty emotional there on Twitter tonight.
That makes me so sad.
You have him and Cello, and you can watch them the rest of the way right there on Altitude. There's I think two or three more road games compared to home games the rest of the way. So sit at home and listen to them and I bet you there's going to be some pretty emotional last few games for them. They have AT&T Sportsnet for the Rockies. They got NFL Network. You get the most regional content for the lowest price for sports in Colorado. Crystal clear HD, using less bandwidth. And you get over 60 entertainment channels, including news, movies, and more. Turn your home into the ultimate game viewing zone. You can even stream your teams from your phone, laptop, or tablet when you're on the go. And you can also add on a discounted Sling TV bundle to get ESPN and more. Evoca is only $25 a month plus a $5 receiver fee. Right now, Colorado sports fans get $10 off per month for your first 3 months. To score this deal, go to evoca.tv/Colorado10. That's EVOCA.tv/Colorado10. No contracts, no catches. Evoca TV is made for champions of the remote. Thank you, Evoca TV, and shout out. Look, I don't have too much zen, B-Ray, if everyone is just pissed about a loss. It just sucks, but it's also not the end of the world.
Look what you just said, a loss. It wasn't even a loss. It
was a draw.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
They got a point. They didn't go.
Definitely feels. It feels like a loss, man.
They lost being in the playoffs today. It is a loss.
Maybe. Maybe
it's a loss.
It's not a lot. They didn't lose.
I'm a big picture. I'm looking at the big picture of playoffs, and we lost out on that today.
I don't agree with your 7 points. I'm not. You didn't hit a nerve or anything because I think it's realistic. But let's look through it right now. Let's look through it right now.
So next game, Philadelphia. At Philadelphia, I'm calling 0 points.
0 points for sure.
Okay. After that, still on the road.
Yep.
Down to Nashville.
I think that's a
0.
That's a pointable game.
A point. Yeah, okay. I'm calling 0. You're calling a point. And then straight to Washington, D.C. against D.C. United.
Possibly the worst team in soccer. They've lost 12-0 to Philadelphia this year.
The worst team in soccer.
Horrible.
And even though this is going to be a grueling road trip, I'm calling a win on that. So that's
I think you can get 4 points on this road trip. I really do.
I think I'm calling 3 points. Okay, well, I'll take the minority on this one and go 3 points.
So Mitch is at 4, I'm at 4, and you're at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mitch and Yahir are at 4, and Duane is at 3.
Okay, Vancouver at home.
We're back home versus Vancouver. I am calling another, and this is because I've been taught now. So every time lately I've been very, very confident against bad teams. The Rapids will get a loss or a draw. So I'm calling a 1 point on that one.
No, stop it. That's 3.
Okay, well, I'm calling 1.
3.
You call what you want. I'm calling what I got.
Sure.
That's probably
we just got 1 point versus Houston. Okay.
I didn't think
that happens though, dude. But you can say that, but that again doesn't speak. That's not an indicator of future performance.
And this goes
Okay.
up to the same thing that I was
They
talking
gave
about.
up a goal. If
Houston
that
was a
ref blew
good
the whistle
team.
10 seconds before, it's a 3 points, and you're saying something completely different.
It's not the ref's
And
fault.
no,
It's
not
the
just
Rapids.
that,
No, I'm
but
not
the
saying
thing
it's the
is-
ref's.
But the thing is, the Rapids are actually Houston's actually a decent team. Just because you see them in the standings
No,
lower
they're
doesn't mean that
not.
they're a bad team.
No, they are
Clint,
not a
They
decent
have
team.
talent, dude.
They are not
you don't
good.
realize,
They started pretty bad, and they've been pretty decent of late.
Yeah,
No,
like the thing
they're
is,
not
like
good.
if you just look at the standings, you're gonna think everybody's bad. You're gonna think Toronto's bad when they've actually been on like a sort of a roll. Even they lost against Miami today and ruined our parlay. Like it's just like they're still a
Disagree.
decent team. Like just,
Minnesota ruined our freaking parlay. Anyways, okay, so
Hard
I say
disagree
3
on
points.
that.
You don't. Colorado, San Jose at home, 3 points.
San Jose at home. I'm calling 0 points.
What?
dude,
Oh
how
wait,
can
no.
you
Sorry, San Jose.
What?
Sorry.
What is going
San
on,
Jose,
man?
that's my
Like,
other three. That's my other three. That's my other
Dwight
three.
just feeding the negativity beast
No,
over
that's
here,
my
dude.
other. Sorry, I read that. That's my other three.
me
So that
and Mitch
finishes
are at
off my
10 points
7.
right now. Me and
Okay,
At
I'm at
least.
Mitch are at 10
7.
already.
I'm at
Yeah.
7 right there. Sorry, that's a win against San Jose. 3 points.
Okay.
Everybody relax. It's a win versus San Jose. For the love of God, relax.
I'm relaxed. I'm calmer than you are.
Good
I'm
Lord.
kicking you out, Dwayne, for that prediction.
So that's a win for me versus San Jose at home. And then it's at Galaxy. I'm calling 0 points on that.
So Galaxy
I'm calling
just
that
drew at home to Seattle, and we're lucky to do that on a pretty harsh VAR penalty there.
But remember, you just said the present is not an indicator of the future.
Sure, but they're also not. They're in the same position as the Rapids, and the Rapids handled them 2-0 already this season.
Okay.
I mean,
so
by
calling a win there.
I'm not going to win, but I'm saying I'm not automatically assuming 0
what
points.
What are you calling? Commit.
That's
Let's
a
go.
point. To me, that's a point. Because
You
they're
got calling
unbeaten
a
in 8
point?
games against.
So that
against-
puts
Okay,
you
I
at
can't
11.
give them points in every game the rest of the way, but I don't know. I'm
Exactly. You can't give them points
I'm
every
at
game.
11.
And that's what you guys are doing.
I'll say 10. I'll say
No.
they're 10. I'll respect the 0 in LA. That's okay. Although I do
I'll
think
say
that's
11.
not as hard of a game as you think it is.
But the thing is also, Dwayne is
I'm
saying,
not
like,
saying
you can't
Galaxy
look
is
at-
that good. I'm saying that we make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
But
of course.
Dwayne, you're also saying,
And
Dwayne, you're saying the present is not an indicator of the future. You can't say
No,
that for
Mitch
another
said
team
that.
and then say it for the Rapids.
I
And then you're
didn't
also
say
saying
that.
the present.
No, I said that. I said that.
You're not
I said that.
listening.
I said that.
Yeah, you're not listening. Mitch said that. I did not.
And then you agreed with him like 2 minutes later.
I did not agree.
Oh
I did
boy,
not agree
chaos
with
on the DMVR podcast. I love it.
It's
I'm just gonna
all
sit
chaos
here
at
and
this point.
stir it.
Yaya just wants to say he's trying to prove how we're going to win the West somehow.
No, I at this point I think the Rapids would be.
Look,
lucky
I don't
to
think
win.
the only there's 2 games that I say for sure there's no chance of points. There's 2 games. That is the season ender in Austin, and it's next week in Philly. I do not see any world where they pull a point out of those 2 games. Period.
That's
The
for
other
sure.
games, 100%, I can see points coming out of, whether it's 1 or 3. The rest of them, now, do I think they do that in all those games? No, but I will not write them off in any of those other games except for Philly and Austin. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Do I know which ones they'll get points and which ones they won't? No, obviously not. But there are 2 games for sure where there's no points available, and the rest, yeah, I think there's points available.
You guys are a lot more fun when it's guessing tailgate. You're all in on guessing tailgate items. I ask you to guess a score or points from a game, and man, that's it's gotten very serious all of a sudden.
Oh no, man.
Look,
I
it's
think there's 3 games.
Hey, look, that's just my opinion. I'm calling 7 points
Yeah, of
for the
course.
rest of the season. That's just
Yeah,
that's
that
just
makes
what
sense.
I'm
Like I know
calling.
why.
And look, dudes, listen. I hope that I am so wrong, and you two just can rub my face in it for the rest of the year,
sure.
and I will happily enjoy that. I would love for us to win every one of those games.
I mean, they're not winning
but
every one of those games. That's not what I was trying to say.
I'm looking at what the Rapids have shown us so far, And it's not a team who wins when their backs are against the wall. Our backs are against the wall the last 3 games, and we have not won. And our backs are against the wall every game. We've said that. So that's where I'm coming from. That's not a gauge. Look, people in the comments, Mitch, that is not an indicator on my love for this club. Like, I have missed very few games in the 8 years that I've had.
I guess
season
here's
tickets. I love them, but
Sure.
like I also look at what they've shown me, and that's why I make that. That's why I make that call.
No,
here's my other thing.
Fair,
here's my
like,
other
that's
thing.
Completely fair, Duane. Like I get that real quick. I get that, Duane. Like, it's not about whether you love them or not. But I'm just saying, I think we should put a friendly wager on this. Mitch, do you like pickle juice?
I love pickle juice.
What's something that you hate to drink?
You drink pickle juice?
I don't drink pickle juice. He asked if I liked it or not.
Okay, so who says? Okay, let's go like this. If the Rapids, no wait, this is my thing. No, this is the reason why I'm saying this. So if the Rapids get more than 7 points,
sure,
Duane has to take a shot of Malort.
Oh,
if the Rapids get 7 points or less. I have to take a shot of Malort because you don't drink, so you can.
That's true. I don't. Okay, I'll do.
I'll
take a shot of pickle juice with. I'll take a shot of pickle juice with either loser.
Mitch already drinks pickle juice.
That's true.
So that's
a shot of ketchup for Mitch.
Oh God, that's not fair. Give me Malort.
It's not a full. Full shot. Not a full shot.
That's a third of the shot. Way worse.
He has to eat a hot dog with ketchup on it.
All right, I'll do that.
Yeah, okay, that's down.
Bet.
No bun, just at
the C38 tailgate.
Just like lathered in ketchup.
I'm
rubbed down in ketchup.
At the FC Dallas game.
That's fine.
We'll know by FC Dallas. So
look, I think it's really easy to sit here and like, yes, they've won 1 road game. They've drawn 3 others. I will say this: they're a bad road team. I'm not trying to say that they're good on the road, but do I think they end the season with 1 road win? No, I think they get more than 1 road win this season. Unfortunately, there's only these road games left in front of them.
Yeah, DC is going to.
You know what I mean? Like, I do think they get like. I just think you regress to the mean at some point, and I think they're better than just 1 road win on the season. So I do think that I don't think it's 7 points and out. I really don't. I do think that there is some fight in this team. The first 75 minutes before Acosta got that red card, they were dominating. Yeah, dominating. That is a good trend. Sure. And you can't, I guess my point with this is you can't bank. I mean, I guess you can based on the season, but it's tough for me to sit here and bank on someone making a mental error at a critical time that blows a game. That's like,
they've literally done that almost.
They've done it they've done it 6 or 7 times this year. So maybe you can.
If I am a guy who does research, then I can totally use that.
Look, a lot of those mistakes could have also just not turned into goals, right? And I feel like but they did. You're right. But I feel like if you ran this season 100 times, same injuries and everything, this is one of the worst possible outcomes in terms of goals scored, expected goals, all that. This is
agreed.
So, but what that means, consistent. What?
But it's consistent. That's what's so weird about it. That's what's so it's
you're right.
It is so weird, guys. This is just the weirdest Rapid season.
It's up there. It's up there.
It is a gold medal weirdness season.
I guess my point is that I believe in regression to the mean, and they have been in the absolute worst spot on the road. I think that turns around. I really think the way Robin and Colin came into that presser, you can tell there was emotions high. You could tell that they let everything out. And I can promise you they were yelling at each other about those mistakes and those obvious mistakes that have cost each other points. I just think that some positive regression on the road is due. I really do. I just do.
And also, I think
it's too little, too late.
But
it is, and that's kind of been the theme of this season.
But I don't think it's too little, too late, because they're still in the play. Like, they're still in the hunt. They're only 2 points away from the 7th seed. Like, that's how. Like,
I think it's a little worse now. I think it's 3.
But okay, 3 points. That's a game.
It's going to be 6 points after next Saturday.
And that's what we think.
Oh my God, Duane, what will you do if they go into Philly and win? What are you willing to do?
I will, dude. I will have a party, dude. We will have such a good time. But
Duane will not be a part of that post game. I am kicking Duane out of that post game.
No, look. You guys are saying no. Duane's not a part of that. But both of you just picked Philadelphia to win. This is not just me.
No, of course.
This is not just me.
Yeah, but we're singling you out, Duane.
Reality. Yeah,
we're singling you out, Duane.
and that's where I'm calling you out on your BS, because it's like all 3 of us picked us to lose.
No, sure.
I will keep singling you out.
So I'm looking at reality here. We all 3, none of us picked to win versus Philadelphia. Okay, I don't say that as Rapids are a crappy team. I'm saying that as we are going against the best of the best. Right? It's them and LAFC. And if we lose that, like, I'm not going to be pissed about that, because we win against the best of the best. And at that point, we're 6 points down, probably.
Yeah, and
I feel like someone's going to win there. And so now we're 2 games back. And now we're 2 games back with what? 6 games left? I don't know, man. I'm not a math magician, but the math doesn't seem super
also
hard
crazy
here.
shit just happens in the MLS. Yeah, exactly. Dude. It just
we're
does.
Assuming
like,
the Raptors
like,
do, but also kind of every team in the West is gonna win. Like, that's the thing, because every team in the West has also been proven to be just
like my guy. Pull that up.
Like, which one? There's like
B-Ray
5-1 versus Philly. Let's go.
I thought you were talking.
Let's go. What if they go 6-0?
You're right, man.
Bang.
I hope you're right. I hope Kevin's right. Look, man, nothing would make me happier to be wrong and have to drink whatever it is you guys are going to punish me with. Like, I'm not much of a drinker, so I don't even know what that is. But whatever. Like, nothing would make me happier. Yeah, well, okay. Like, nothing would make me happier than to get sick off of whatever that is. You know, like, I want to be wrong, but I'm looking at the evidence and I'm making the realistic call based on a season's worth of evidence that we've been given. That's where my 7 points come from. It's not a insult to the Rapids. I'm not trying to be mean or pessimistic. I'm looking at the evidence and the numbers, and that's where I'm coming from on it. Like, it's, you know, it's just, for me, the rest of the season is cheering for, like I said, you know, a month or 2 ago, I'm cheering for chaos at this point, you know, to screw up the rest of the table if we can. If we can't get in, let's screw it up for everybody else. And I'm cheering for Rubio, man. Like, I want that record.
Okay, so here's the question then, Duane.
But this is my.
So you think the Rubio goal scoring record happens? Yes or no? He needs 5 goals, and he owns the single season goal scoring record.
How many games do we have left?
8.
5 goals in 8 games.
Yep.
That's hard for a Rapid based on history, but I just feel it happening. Like, I'm in on Rubio, man. Like,
I'm telling you, if he gets 5 and 8 or better, so if he has the record at all, they're going to get more than 7 points just from that alone. Just from that alone.
I don't know if I agree with that, but okay. I would love that.
But
I hope Rubio gets 10 goals.
But this is the thing with your prediction. You keep saying, like, the Rapids have shown us that they're this team. And then but every other team in the West has shown us the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's also the other thing. But also I want to point out a great point from Kevin. Great point from Kevin. What they've been is consistently inconsistent. And he said that earlier. That's also a good one. But like the thing is every time they do well, they blow a stinker, and every time they're on this streak, they have a crazy game that kind of pulls you back out of it. So I wish I could say they've been consistently consistent, but the thing is it's mistakes versus great games versus mistakes versus great games. And it's like, maybe they do have this run of three great games that gives them 9 points. And all of a sudden that changes the math on the last month. It really, you know what I mean? It's not like,
the only thing the Rapids have been consistent on is making bad mistakes. So let's all cheer for inconsistency, because the most inconsistent thing for this season would be for us to go on this road trip and take 9 points.
Well, I didn't say 9 points in this road trip.
Well, fuck it. Let's go for 9.
4.
Like, you know,
4.
you can only get 9 in 3 games.
I don't want to sit here and say that a team can't do something in the MLS. Number one, because it's the MLS and crazy shit happens literally week in and week out. So while you are saying is 75 or more % likely to happen, to say that there's no way that they get a point, like even 1 point on the road the rest of the way.
I didn't say that.
Or 3 points, whatever you said on the road, 3 points. To say there's no way that they get more than 3 points on the road the rest of the way, I just can't commit to that. I just can't.
Okay.
The MLS is too random and too crazy, and there's too much chance.
Over the first half of the season, we got 0 points on the road. So I don't think it's too crazy to make that prediction.
Bang! Joseph from the top row.
Wow! I can't believe Joseph said that. Of all people,
8 straight. Greatest end to an MLS season of all time.
I'll have whatever Joseph is having.
Yeah, stick that in your pipe and smoke it, haters.
I just really think like being too down on this team is also not fair to them, because how many times have
I'm not down on the team.
Well, like,
I'm not down on them.
No, I'm not just saying on you. Like, wait,
I think he's more talking about the tone of where Rapids
general,
Nation
like, I'm not
is
just
at right
saying
now.
you, because the amount of times like even me, you, and like Mitch have been down on this team and said it's over constantly during the season.
I said it was over like 2 times in June, I think.
Exactly.
Like, honestly.
And we said it constantly. And this team keeps proving that it can stick with those mid-tier teams. It can stick with them because all of them are inconsistent, just like the Rapids.
Yeah.
Saying they're out of it because they tied this game in a shitty way, I don't think is like what's going to happen in the future. And that's like the issue, because this team is, it's been inconsistent. They've made heavy mistakes. But my point is that they're not the only team doing this. It'd be fair to say that this team is the only one fucking up and nobody else can get in that. They're getting in their own way. But from 4 to 11, they're all doing the exact same thing the Rapids are. If they weren't, they'd be in a solidified position and the Rapids would be way out of it by now.
Can I get one off here real quick?
Look at it. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you guys think Robin Fraser is a good head coach? I've said he's a top 3 to 5 head coach in the league. Do you guys agree with that?
At least top 5, yeah.
I do.
Okay. This team has a ton of vets, ton of speed, a ton of, and what they have is a sense of urgency. Is it crazy that they blow? Yes, just because that didn't go their way doesn't mean they don't have a sense of urgency.
I'm not just talking about one game, guys. They've had a sense of urgency for weeks.
Hold on. They had what I would call, just based on the little bit of information we have, a come to Jesus moment. You guys familiar with the term?
Yeah.
Sure.
A revelation.
What if it worked? What if these vets and what if that mental mistakes what if it came to a head and they yelled at each other in this locker room and they got it out of their system and they built trust with each other and they let those emotions out and free? And
then that would be a truly Jesus miracle moment.
Would it be a miracle? I don't think a miracle. Yes, miracle is crazy. Whoa.
Wait, I think
here's why.
No way. That's
crazy.
Here's why. We've gone through the entire season, and this isn't just me. Both of you who are on the screen right now,
of course,
have complained every game about the same mistake happening over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Mitch came on the show and said, my good friend said, A team will show you who they are, and we use that as part of the show. The
right,
Rapids
well,
have shown us who they are. No, let me finish. So if they had a coming to Jesus moment today and the rest of the season they stop doing that, then they are no longer the Rapids 2022 squad. They are something better that makes better decisions and plays better defense. And in that case, yes, I would say turning a complete 180 for the rest of the season and winning out is a miraculous thing for a sports team in any sport to do. So yes, I
that's
do
not
think
what,
that
that's
would
not
be
what
it.
either of us said.
Yeah,
we
but
didn't
that's the
say
thing.
we're gonna win out.
But Dwayne, this is the thing, man. Like you saying it's a miraculous thing.
It's
If
not
you
a
saying
miraculous
this,
thing to just
yeah,
play
but there's, like,
soccer.
exactly like you saying that
It's
this
not like it
becomes a
doesn't take
miraculous
a miracle.
thing.
They don't need
Yeah,
a miracle.
Yeah, and the thing is, like you saying this,
They're only
it
3
would be a
points out.
miraculous. You saying it would be a miraculous thing. It's like saying these are like peewees playing against professionals, and all of a sudden they became professionals. Like no, like these are professionals that are super talented that can just have a moment of like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna let this happen anymore, which happens all the time. There's that amazing story of Patrick Waugh when he like said, "You're not scoring on me anymore," and they didn't score on him the whole time. I'm not saying they're Patrick Waugh because he's the best goalie of all time.
Yeah.
I'm saying that these players, I'm saying that professional athletes have a switch that they sometimes just flip. It wouldn't be miraculous for them to like flip it. It'd be hard for them. It'd be like, I can agree, it'd be hard. It's not easy to flip that.
Teams have strong finishes all the time. Look at the Pits last year.
It wouldn't be miraculous. The Rockies did it, man. Of all the teams,
the worst franchise in the history of professional sports,
did it in 2007. It went on a 21-24 run or something.
First of all, winning 21 out of 22 games for the Rockies in 2007 was absolutely miraculous.
That's true. That's true.
So to even use that and tell me I'm crazy is
that was not my
absurd argument.
Exactly, but I'm saying like that's miraculous. But that team was actually bad. That team didn't have any talent. Like I followed that team closely as a kid. I know that team in and out. Jamie Carroll was my favorite player because Matt Holiday was
shout out Jamie Carroll. Great last name. Yeah, my guy.
Exactly. Like there's the thing. Like I know that team in and out. Really. And this team has way more talent for what it's built for that it wouldn't be miraculous because they've been there. The Rockies have never been there. Like that's what miraculous is. I guess Rapids turning flip wouldn't be miraculous.
I guess what it comes down to, man, is I'm not putting the gravestone up on this season because we still have 8 games to discuss and 16 shows to have. And to just say, to boil it down to, oh, they can only get 7 points. The season's over. It's done. Let's throw it out the window. Isn't what I'm trying to do right now. I want this to be.
And I think that's totally fine. But I also think it's totally fine for me to feel that this is what the Rapids have shown me, Duane.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I'm saying, I think we're going to get 7 more points on the season. So to be attacked for that is, I'm just saying this is what I feel. And I feel if one post-game meeting where everyone is having an upset time and suddenly now all the issues are fixed, yes, that seems very unlikely.
They don't have one post-match meeting, though. They have meetings. This is their life. They talk about this all the time.
But you said coming to Jesus moment, not coming to.
But I'm
Jesus
thinking if things come to a head, right? Like things come to a head, which is what could have happened, which did happen tonight.
It did happen. They blew it. Yeah.
Yes.
Against a very bad team. I still think they're not good. We should have beat them.
Yep, that's true.
I think they're better. I wouldn't say that they're not good.
I think not only coming to Jesus moment with Hudson, but just having Hudson gone and that toxicity, and then having someone who was more positive like Casey come in and lead that team was a very good thing. That doesn't mean me saying like Fraser should be gone. I love Fraser. I hope he's here for a very, very long time.
To answer Cody's question here, and him and someone else also said it further up, you can't force these moments to happen. You say, well, why didn't they figure this out then? Because that's just how, you can't. These are people that show up to work every single day and study the MLS and study the next game and work on their craft and put in effort every single day. And for us to sit here and say that they don't, or they just ignore that, and for them to just say the season is done and over and out isn't true, 1. And 2, you can't just force a come to Jesus moment, right? It takes moments. It takes
Jesus.
games. It takes, coming to Jesus. It takes Jesus getting there. Like, this
Jesus
isn't
has a long
something that you can
commute,
just
bro.
force. And like any season for any team, you can jump backwards and be like, oh, why didn't they turn it around here, right? Nuggets. How many times do they lose to the Kings this season, right? Like 3 of 4 games to the freaking Sacramento Kings every year. 3 of the 4 they will lose and lose in frustrating fashion. And every time it's like, oh man, this rotation sucks. This bench sucks. We got to trade somebody. We got to do this. We got to do that. And in reality,
4 against the Coyotes of all teams.
Exactly. And so they're like these games specifically, these emotional games that feel like losses, even though this one wasn't a loss. It's so easy to just say, oh God, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do this? This is it, period. But these guys are coming to work every single day knowing that there's more urgency than they've had all season because they have to. They're still within shot of the playoffs. And so I'm not going to write off a team of professionals that are still integrating pieces, believe it or not, because Gutierrez just got here and he's playing really well. That I'm not just going to write them off and say there's no chance they can do this the rest of the way. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
I think the most frustrating part about this game wasn't that the last minute goal. To me, the most frustrating part, now that I look back at it, it was the whole no leadership on the field. It feels like at times. It feels like there's nobody that can pull the guys aside and say, hey man, it's time to start doing this. Hey man, listen to me. You got to calm down here. And maybe it's an individual thing, and maybe they should be like it as people be held a little bit more accountable by themselves. Like look into a mirror and be like, hey, I need to do this. But even as day-to-day people that we're not professional athletes, how hard is it to like say, I need to stop smoking, I need to stop doing this, I need to stop doing that, and you realize it by yourself. In the game, it's just all amplified in that little time. So I feel like having that leadership out there, and this is where I think Jack Price is super missing, and I think this is where Jack Price is needed because he's that guy. Like when we see him talk to the rest of the players, you can see the rest of the players stand there and they're like, okay, the leader's talking. What do we need to do? Hey, this guy has a level head all the time. Let's see what he recommends me to improve in this moment. And that's where I think like Jack Price's leadership is missing more than his talent. Because I think talent-wise, Acosta has done a decent job of like filling in that role and being that player. Yeah, exactly. So I think the biggest thing that we're missing in the Rapids would be the leadership role. And it's
moments
not
like
that
this
there's
also
no
create
leaders
growth.
on this team. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that there's no,
right?
it doesn't
like
mean
what
that
if
there's no leadership. It just means that the main leader that everybody kind of trusts more than everybody else is not that means.
Moments like this can create growth too, man, where it's like someone's in that locker room pissed. They're all pissed. I promise. And someone's sitting in that locker room, and maybe something like this is where leadership comes from, where changes in roles come from, where buy-in changes, where I just have so much trouble with the absolutes of over. They're not out of it. They still got a point. Like they're not out of this. And I guess my question isn't necessarily, I'm not trying to say, is it going to happen? But I'm also not going to say it's not. So the question is, who is going to grow from this? Who's going to learn? Who is going to take a devastating result at home in front of the fans? Who's going to take that feeling of we might have lost the playoffs here? They haven't yet. But who's going to take that feeling and who's going to learn? Who's going to grow? Who's going to take on the challenge of leading? Who's going to take on the challenge of calling out others' mistakes? Who's going to grow from that? And that happens. This is a professional sports team. These are professional sports players. These guys, this is their entire life. This is all of it. This is what they do. And I have faith that something can come out of this. I do. And maybe I'm crazy. I know Duane disagrees. I can tell. And I know the whole comments disagree. I can tell. And I know Twitter certainly disagrees. I know that. I don't even have to go look again. I know that. But, maybe I have Rapids colored glasses on. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to, only Siths speak in absolutes. You know what I'm saying?
I think the reason that you feel like this is because after the game, we've seen these really bad games from the Rapids all year long. I personally saw different body language from everybody out there.
Me too.
I saw a completely different body language. I didn't see them moping. I saw them more pissed than I've ever seen them, which is very different.
I
from
wish
what we
I
see
was
from
sitting
them.
next to Rubio in that box tonight, man. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Could you
exactly.
imagine
Because you see
the
them
verbal onslaught that referee received from Diego Rubio this evening was just like the
You can't get fined. You can't get fined in the box. You can't get fined in the box.
And the thing is, like, you just saw them after the game, man. You saw everybody after the game. And, like, I wasn't at the presser, but where you're telling me it feels like the same vibe. They just seem mad instead of upset, which is something we haven't seen from this team all year long. They've kind of been like, well, we screwed up. Well, like, what was me? It felt like a lot of the year sometimes. And I can't say that's exactly what I thought. I'm just reading the TV because I don't know them personally. I'm not in that locker room.
I just think the emotions show to me that they're not folding on this season. They are going to show up and fight. They are going to bring everything they have to these games.
I don't think they've folded in any of these games, by the way.
Sure.
I don't think anybody on the Rapids is giving up.
Sure.
For me, it's just it's the consistency of mental mistakes. So, and that's it, you know. And look, the good news here is, everybody, I have such good news for you.
What is it?
I am wrong way more than I am right.
No.
So that is the good news for everyone. I hope that my 7-point prediction goes down in the history of Rapids lore as the worst prediction ever made. I would absolutely love that. I would be the happiest guy ever. Because
drop in the chat your worst predictions ever. Go ahead, drop them in there while Duane keeps going on this rant. All right, keep going.
It's not a rant. My rant was what? 2 weeks ago.
Whenever it was.
It was last Saturday, actually, a week ago.
Okay, so it was a week ago.
Yeah.
Columbus. Yeah, it was Columbus. Black.
It just felt like 2 weeks because there's been 2 games.
Yeah, because it's been a long time since then, game-wise. But, you know, I mean, I don't want anybody to take my response to this as crapping on the team or not loving the team. Like,
oh, no, I don't think so.
I think you have that rant because you love the team.
Yeah, I love this club, and that's why it's so frustrating to me.
Yeah, you
know, and when I'm looking at the schedule, I'm just looking at, hey man, like, what have been shown so far? Okay, then this is what I've been shown. So I'm going to apply that to the future, and this is where I end up. And that's not based on heart at all. Like, that's just based on evidence of the past and looking and applying that towards the teams we're playing, you know, and that's how I arrive at that number, you know, and that has no heart involved. Thanks, Joseph. So yeah, I mean, the graphics, you know, that's how much I love the team. You know, I will stay up all night. You know, Yaya and we got so many of our team out in Serbia, you know, and so both of us are
including a third of your graphics.
Yeah, we're burning the candle at both ends, and I will still stay up until 2 a.m. just to make sure we have a Rapids graphic.
I think it's half of our graphics department because Kale and
yeah, it's just
Kale and D-Line are out there. Yeah, it's just doing everything.
Yeah.
So
half.
You know, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you know, I show my heart in other ways, and if I'm just looking at the schedule, man, that's just based on where we've been and kind of where I see it. And like I said, like, I hope that I am stupid wrong on it. I can't wait to cheer on Rubio for breaking the team record.
It's going to be epic, whenever that is. That's going to be.
I don't care if we make it to the playoffs or not, but that moment to me,
yes,
absolutely.
And I hope people celebrate. I hope people are excited.
Yes.
Okay, one at a time.
I know. I'm just excited. You got me excited with the Rubio goals.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this.
Okay, guys, one at a time again.
Let's do this. Or no, let's save it. Let's save it for.
Let's save it. It's an hour 10. We're at an hour 10.
So all right, let's finish off on positive things from the game. Whatever that means to you. Let's finish off on that.
Sure.
I know what mine is. So
Go
ahead.
Mine is tailgate. I just want to give a.
No, you said from the game.
was part of
that
the game,
is
my
part of the
opinion.
game for me.
All
The
right,
whole
fair enough.
experience is it. Like that's real to me. There were lots of players I thought had good games tonight. But I'm not going to get into that because I know you guys are going to cover that.
Sure.
So I'm going to cover my experience, and I just want to give a major high five to C38, to our buddy Dev cooking up some hot dogs. Just everybody we got to hang out with, Kevin and just everybody. It would take too long to name everybody. I had some friends come out who have never been to a Rapids game before. So that was super fun.
Oh yeah.
And just seeing everybody and being at a match with Yaya, who doesn't get out to matches very often, and hanging out with Mitch before the game before he has to go up to the press box.
That was fun.
Dude, like that is the Rapids experience for me.
It was great.
I thought it was awesome. If you've not been to a C38 tailgate, go and just go hang out, sit in the grass with your buddies, and just have a great time before the match. I cannot tell you what a great thing that is to just experience and be a part of. That was the highlight of my night, just being able to hang out with friends and homies and meet people that are always in the comments that I never get to meet in person. And it was just cool.
It was great.
Yeah, it was
Second
awesome.
that.
I love it. So for those of you who stopped by and said hello and high fives and hugs and fist bumps, like, man, that just made my night. I appreciate all of it. So, gosh, awesome. Like, I wish I could go back and do that a million times. It was a great time.
It was really, really good. Good call, Duane.
For sure.
Yeah.
I just wanna highlight Yarby. I thought Yarby had a couple of saves that really kept the case where it should be.
They found Hector Herrera on that free kick, and he was kind of on the left side of the box there, but caught it clean and had a touch on it. And Yarby sprinted off his line and got down low and sent that out.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think Yarby had a great game. I want to give Yarby a great shout out. I think that's I think he's going to be in the upper echelon of keepers for the Rapids. He definitely deserves to be there.
Absolutely.
At the end of his tenure. I think we should
Just
celebrate
one
all the
shutout
getting he
since
did.
May, unfortunately, but I think that's more the defense's fault.
Yeah, that's not on him. I don't blame him at all. And I just want to.
That was just a
piggyback on
stat
Duane.
we were talking about on press row today.
Yeah, and I just want to piggyback on Duane real quick. It was great being out there. I loved all that. I felt a little teary eyed. I'm not gonna lie. I felt a little emotional being out there with all those people and being able to with my wife. That we haven't been able to go to a sporting event in a while. And just seeing not even the DNVR Rapids community, but just the Rapids community grow so much since the last time I've been there. And I think it's such a beautiful thing seeing the stadium every time more and more full, so many more people intrigued by soccer and so many new faces. And I think that's just a beautiful thing to see for a team that definitely I think deserves a lot more credit than they get around town.
It was a good crowd tonight for sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think, I've been really down on Colin Warner on this pod, and I always go, oh God, yeah, they are probably going to start Warner. Or, oh God, why do they put in Warner? You put in Warner because you're trying to raise that floor as high as you can, and he met that challenge, and he met it well. He played very, very well.
Yep.
I have to give him his flowers, especially when I routinely don't. And so, I'll happily own that. I thought he was really good. And guess what? He's going to have to be really, really good against Philly next week because there's no Acosta and we don't know about Price. So
I believe in Warner.
Me too.
Could be. I think he'll be great.
He's really he's turning on me for sure.
He could be that field commander that we need while Price is out.
And then,
I think Warner is that guy.
He is. He really is. And I need to doubt him less and give him props when I see it. As for C38 tailgate, man, there's nothing like it. There's literally, I've called it the best tailgate in Colorado sports, and I think that held true again tonight. Started out with some weather that was very windy, light rain. Would be easy to not show up in full force, and everyone showed up in full force. Everyone's talking. Everyone's saying, hey. It's real community. It's really community, and that's very underrated in a way that no other sports scene in this state is. Most games in Colorado feel like people trying to get as wasted as possible in the parking lot, go in and scream and leave. And you see friendships grow out of C38. You see, you meet people, then you see them again the next week and the next week and the next week. And all of a sudden you're friends. And that's tight. Like, that's so, like, I don't know. It's something that I wish I was into sooner in my life, and I'm happy I'm there now. And it was really cool to do that with the DNVR crew and Yaya's wife and Andre's family, and my friends came out, and it was just cool to expose more people to that, because the more people that see that side of it, the more people that buy in to the rest of it. And that's the ultimate goal here, right? Is to raise the profile of soccer in Colorado and through the Rapids and through C38. So flowers to them, flowers to you two for
real quick, since we didn't shout out Lalas, man of the match.
I mean, I should have said Lalas, man.
I thought I left Lalas for you. That's why when I thought you were gonna go Lalas because that's your guy. Fully.
I do. I love Lalas. I love Lalas.
I was gonna say Lalas, but I'm like, I'll take Yarby because I'm pretty sure Mitch is gonna go Lalas.
Sometimes I go left when you think I'm gonna go right.
You're like the Rapids, unpredictable.
Yeah. Look.
While we're shouting out Lalas, I just want to say that pass was one of the most beautiful right on the boot passes I have ever seen. I mean,
it was gorgeous.
Gutierrez, who didn't have the greatest first half, just came out.
He's still struggling to find his spot.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's new, but holy crap. I mean, just dropped it right on his boot. And
it was awesome.
It was amazing.
It was
absolutely
awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see more of that.
All right, guys. Wow, 117. Good job, us. That's the longest pod we've ever done, I think. Got hot in here.
And everybody stuck with us.
It got hot. Got heated.
It got hot. We're all Rapids homies.
Totally.
Except for me, I'm evil.
Go to DNVR Sports on YouTube. Subscribe, please. Hit the thumbs up on your way out of this show, please. Helps the algorithm out a lot. 5 stars if you're listening on your podcast, and write a review. Biggest possible way that can help us out. Just DNVR all across the way, man. Like, follow these guys, follow me, follow our accounts. You see the guys in Serbia living the dream right now. It's really fun to follow them. Hit the locker, get your scarves. Am I missing anything, guys?
Sale? Is the sale still going on?
Summer sale.
Come on, my man. You're hawking scarves and t-shirts, and we got a killer sale going on right now.
Jesus Christ.
I got you, dude.
This is literally my job.
We can disagree on points, but I got your back. I got your back every time. There's still a DC in the fridge for you in the office.
Let's go.
I love it, Kevin. Let's ride. Let's ride the wave.
There is a big old summer sale going on at the DNVR locker. Tons of stuff is on sale. If you were a Faku fan, you can get a $3 Faku shirt, but there's a bunch of other sales, $10 off some stuff, $5 off some other stuff. Both of the Rapids items are on sale. So go ahead, DNVR locker, get it, get styled out.
One more
I will send
day
it to you
only,
Monday
right?
or Tuesday. Who knows?
Who knows?
This could be the last sale ever in the history of the whole world. We don't know.
We don't do sales very often.
Look, my point is get on it while you can. Grab yourself a scarf, grab yourself a shirt. Whether you like the DNVR Skyline shirts or the flags or the Rapids crest or the whatever.
I already have this shirt and I bought it again on the sale.
Can you
just
believe
so
that?
I don't have to wash it as much. Now I got 2.
That is commitment. Dwayne rules. All right, guys. More important than all of that, and it's already in the comments. You love to see it. The most important thing, the thing that we say every time. Up the Pids.
Up the Pids.